Welcome everyone, we are the Grin Brothers, and Raphael says he has something to talk about.
We're almost 30 parts in and we've not even finished Nuka-World.
To be fair, you did partway go through... What was the...
Because I thought it was the actual outfit. I think I remember this place.
I kind of just thought you were admiring it.
I mean, that is something I would do, yes, but... Because, I mean, I've got a hoodie with that design on it.
You do, actually.
Because I really like that design.
It is a fairly nice design.
How do I get in there to kill you?
There's a door at the back. I mean, even if you kill them, you're just wasting bullets because you can't get to the area to loot them.
Yeah, but they annoyed me.
So yeah,
yeah, I mean, I've watched some anime thing that I do.
You want to talk about them?
What's this, Black Clover?
Ah, just Black Clover.
It's not plural.
I've got a lot of animes I still need to actually get around to watching, Black Clover being one of them. Actually, here's a question.
Well, One Punch isn't out yet.
Okay, here's a question, actually.
Yeah.
Boku No Hero, have you read the latest chapter?
No, I kind of stopped reading it for a bit.
Okay, because I was actually going to ask, because I was going to base my decision, I was going to ask, in a very vague term, who won that last fight? Or who do you think has won it? Because I think whether I continue reading for the moment or stop for a while, maybe based off that, because... I mean, of course, I was going over criticism I had with Boku No Hero for a while, compared to others, but the plot development regarding Deku's quirk is kind of the final nail.
Yeah.
Because I was having, with exception to the Endeavour arc, I was criticising the heck out of quite a few of the recent arcs. Like, the Festival arc introduced... whilst the Festival arc introduced Gentle and Labrava, two of my two favourite characters in Boku No Hero, I felt it was kind of poorly handled.
It was very poorly.
It was teased to set up, focus on a bunch of other characters, and then proceeded to focus only on Deku.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of how they handled the Gentle stuff. I mean, a lot of other people's theories of it leading to a prison break arc sounded far more interesting.
Yeah.
But that certainly isn't going to happen. The arc before it was, what was his name? I'm not sure what they call the arc, but the one with the gangsters.
Oh, that...
The Yakuza.
That train wreck.
Yeah, that was a train wreck in several ways.
That arc was just terrible.
Kind of had the... you put it as poor world building.
Yeah.
In terms of the problem with Deku's current quirk development sort of thing. Characters set up to be too strong or sort of thing. Like, you can't be a hero of our quirk. Well, clearly you can, because Night Eye is wrecking everyone.
Yeah. Without using his quirk.
His quirk's terrible for combat.
Yeah. If anything, it gives you a false sense of comfort. Actually, no, it doesn't even do that. He literally said it. He can't change what he sees. It's going to happen regardless.
Until it just randomly does get changed.
Yeah.
With no explanation. Like, I'm a fan of that sort of thing, and sort of things in anime. The whole willpower sort of trump sort of thing. Again, I'm a big fan of Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
But there's always an explanation behind it. There's always a character did something differently. Like, say Hajime no Ippo, a reason one character wins over the other, despite them both having strong wills, might be the merit behind the will, as it were.
Yeah.
For instance, one guy couldn't stand because one guy was weaker in terms of the general way he was fighting because he looked up to another person and wanted to, he looked up to the person and wanted to aspire to be on the same level as the person, whilst his opponent wanted to be greater than the person he admired, sort of thing.
Yeah.
As just, sometimes it's just going to be the mindset sort of thing, or there's a certain factor which wasn't considered before, which changes the element.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s finale, season 4 finale, did that sort of thing where the future seemed so set, but Coulson managed to change the outcome of the future.
Nuka Girl suit.
Neat. not very good for us. You could give it to Kiri, though.
Yeah, I'm going to, because she can actually make use of it.
But, you know, Deku didn't really do anything specific to change the future. He just did as he would.
Yeah. He just punched things.
And then again, aside from the Endeavour arc, I thought the Endeavour arc was just perfect. Just so gosh darn amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it does unfortunately encapsulate the problem of the world building. In that Endeavour was apparently the number 2 hero and you couldn't trump All Might when All Might was weakened, and yet you see all which Endeavour is capable of, and it's like, well, how sodding powerful was All Might in his prime then?
Yeah.
If Endeavour, with all that he manages in his arc, was still considered not on the same level of All Might. And then there was, but then the most recent manga arc was Class A versus Class B, which seemed like it was going pretty well.
I just don't like the helmet. But you can't de-equip it. I assume there's a mod for that. When in doubt,
then
there's a mod for that.
I mean, there were slight problems already starting to pop up, as it were. The first fight was handled perfectly. The second fight, they just kind of were trying to... They were kind of trying to big up character moments. Well, the problem with the second fight, mainly, is that they bigged up Momo's role in it, and then proceeded to then focus on Todoroki, Tokiyami instead.
That's because her role was to lose.
But I think the problem is that after the Yakuza arc, with the treatment of its female characters, it kind of rubs worse.
Oh yeah, female characters are very poorly written. People are like, oh, there's such good female leads. No, they're not.
The characters are
decent, but they're treated poorly, so that doesn't make them a good female lead.
No.
Does the complete opposite, actually. Like, it's just such bad.
Again, a fact that Black Clover has in its favour.
Yeah.
Female characters do get to do stuff.
Yeah. And are actually well written at the same time.
I mean, again, I can easily say, because there's an argument of Boku No Hero versus Black Clover. I can easily say, though, that Boku No Hero does have definitely the far better start.
Yeah.
Because Black Clover's is just ripping off other series for its start.
And that's why you watch the anime instead.
But yeah, and it kind of, and they were still praising, and it kind of felt like Class B only
boarded that up.
Events that happened felt like, and then there was a third fight where really it felt one-sided, except for the fact that Ida carried the whole of his team.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, they tried to big up Torodoki's moment, and that proved just to make Tetsu more badass.
This place is really cool.
That is really cool, yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of ironic. They were trying to big up Torodoki, sort of thing.
It just makes
Did further terrible world building by trying to say his fire's stronger than even Endeavor's, which is ridiculous given he's still a first-year student.
Yeah, and it clearly isn't stronger than Endeavor's.
And Tetsu just beats the hell out of him.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, the flames might be even hotter than Endeavor's.
And it felt like...
So why is Tetsu alive?
The whole thing felt like it should have been Team B's win if it wasn't for Ida literally making up for everyone.
Yeah. I actually forgot who the rest of the people on Ida's team were.
It was Tailman and...
oh, sorry.
Was it Octo Tentacle?
Tail Guy did fine.
Tail Guy did fine, yeah. Of course, he would have to be the one who gets captured.
Well, yeah, because...
Even though he had a pretty shining moment.
His quirk is having a tail. He's in a competition where there's a dude that can just make limbs. A dude who has the power of fire and ice. Someone who's a literal...
And yet Todoroki still did worse than all of them!
A guy who can turn into steel. Someone that can shoot remote-controlled horns, question mark.
They also changed Pony's powers midway.
Dude that can literally transform the Earth into a puddle.
Yep.
And
that got trumped by Tail.
And who was the other person on there too?
He's the one who has the little metal sort of nail things. Can't remember the exact specifics of his power, but
was it the guy that no? Who did the welding guy fight?
I thought welding guy was in against Bakugo.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
because he welded Bakugo on the spot.
Oh no, it's something like I can't remember the exact thing of his powers. It's something to do with his fingers or something.
Yeah, I think I have a vague recollection. I don't know.
But yeah, but no, really, it kind of there was problems throughout, but they all felt minor in compared to what happened in the final fight with Deku's development. That just kind of trashed over a lot of. The thing is, it ruined so much of the future of the series as well.
It ruins the future of the series, but it also kind of makes everything before this like. So, my biggest issue is why has up to this point the power?
No one else had this same quirk development.
Yeah, why was the quirk as? You know, I'm just gonna say Boku No Hero spoilers.
Yeah.
Because words are not my strong point, so I'm not gonna be able to find a roundabout way to talk about this.
Yeah.
So yeah, spoilers to the
manga,
anime, whatever. It's far.
I mean, the anime probably won't even get to this, even in its fourth season. Its upcoming fourth season.
We're pretty deep in. So we discovered All for One, or whatever the hell the quirk's called, works the way I initially speculated it would work. Quirks also get passed down, but they don't. But they do.
They don't for anyone else, but Deku's a special case.
Yeah. Like, All Might didn't get them.
Despite how the one factor that you'd think would take into account with it is that because Deku was quirkless, but no, All Might was also quirkless, so...
Yeah. So we have there's no reason why, and it's not like...
Because it was written that way. It's like a pitch meeting, why would you do that? Because I wrote it that way.
But why?
Because I wanted it to be that way.
Because it makes it easy for me. Yeah, there's no logical explanation as to why it is the way it is, but also that should have just been what the quirk was from the get-go. Yeah.
If you felt that Deku's quirk was too boring for your fights, which I feel must be the reason, or is probably the reason, because to be fair, a strength-powered quirk is pretty boring compared to what some of these other characters.
Yeah, we'll just give fights to the other characters.
They probably thought, I want more interesting fights with Deku, so here's all these other powers. I mean, hell, alone, the new quirk he's developed is far more cool-looking than anything else he's done with his fists.
Yeah, the quirk is... The initial idea for the quirk is terrible. Because not just is it a matter that it's... like, it's just infinite scaling strength.
It's a guarantee that the next person will be better than you. But the problem is, All Might was the best person in Japan.
Yeah, so it's like, it's just world domination.
I mean, 8%, I mean, for comparison's sake, Deku used 8% and held his own against Bakugo.
Yeah.
And hurt Bakugo. If he used 100%, Bakugo's head would be, mush against the wall.
Yeah, there's like a huge power scaling issue. But if the quirk was what it was from the beginning, it wouldn't be an issue. Because, yeah, you'd have one dude with, 8 quirks or whatever. But it also makes sense to give the quirk to someone who's quirkless, because...
It means less quirks, because they've always talked about how people have had to take, years of growing up to control their quirks.
Yeah. You wouldn't have to worry about someone getting overwhelmed by so many quirks. And, they wouldn't have to... There'd be less to learn. And they'd still have a decent amount of quirks. Plus, you give someone that opportunity to use different quirks.
another thing, they were already hinting at ways Deku was going to be able to expand the usage of his quirk and make it better. In the...
Why are they fighting?
No idea. In the originally, Deku was starting to get the equipment designed specially for him.
Yeah.
Like being able to use his finger attack without it breaking his finger.
Yeah, wasn't that the entire point of those arcs?
Yeah. Why they ruined the whole festival arc to focus more on Deku.
Yeah.
Was to introduce this factor, which now is meaningless.
Yeah.
Because why use a long-range finger blast attack when you can just use overreaching a Shadow Claw? It's basically Shadow Claw, but without the utility.
Yeah. Oh god.
I
wonder if I can just...
And as you said, the other problem with all of Boku no Hero Academia's developments, the main one you kept bringing up, is that Vigilantes is better.
It really is better.
And it's set in Boku no Hero, so... That blew up against that post, didn't it?
I think so. You can shoot me through the floor. Well, I can't...
I'm glad the stim pack keeps healing you as you take damage, though. You know, your sword probably does a lot more damage. Oh, that's why.
Yeah. Sorry about dropping several mines on your head, Kiri, and then watching you explode. I'm sure you're fine.
Oh, no, she's fine. She got up.
Yeah, no, like, it just raises so many issues. Like, we could have had a far more interesting character from the get-go.
Instead, you kind of ruined it by making him out to be so much stronger with just the one quirk, and then throwing in 7 more. Well,
yeah.
6 more.
It'd been way more interesting if his strength was just the matter that he's got a bunch of quirks. And that's basically what the villain is as well.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm strong because I got quirks. And it's like, cool, I'm strong because I've got quirks.
Meanwhile, again in a Black Clover comparison, Asta's strength is less his ability and more the fact that he actually trained before his ability.
He's also got a bunch of teammates.
Who actually, will get focus on, but it's fairly obvious. I mean, I saw a snippet from the movie, the final fight of the movie, and to be fair, it's been fairly obvious as a teasing. Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki are basically just the monster trio, as it were. The guys who's going to get all the sort of focus.
Yeah.
They're the only ones with... Like, it's weird. They gave origin... they gave the origin chapter thing for Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. But in Ida's one, where they literally focus on his flashback as to why he became a hero, they didn't title it The Origin. They only titled it for those... And Uruka as well. They only titled The Origin for Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. So you know who's, the main focus is always going to be on.
I mean, for Uruka, it makes sense because she's a female, so she's going to get the short end.
Gosh, she just gets... I think to kind of hint to people how Uruka's treatment is going along, Uruka vs. Bakugo is basically the Sakura vs. Sori moment.
Yeah.
She gets a really cool fight. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed that, because...
That's your cool fight.
And the worst part is Uruka isn't even a healer, so it doesn't even make sense for her to go back into support, as it were.
Oh, thank God she died, because she was about to explode.
In fact, looks very pretty.
Okay, don't really know what happened there. Do you, Curie?
So, I guess to round up all this complaining about Boku no Hero, apparently it's the first foreign manga to win the Korean manga... the author's the first foreign mangaka to win the Korean manga award.
Okay. Like, I'm real happy for him.
I'm happy that he had a success, although it does kind of annoy... Much like how Nizukoi was the one success for the guy who wrote Double Arts, a fantastic manga that got cancelled, I'm really annoyed that... Well, I was happy at first because Boku no Hero felt really good at first, but seeing as it's degraded, it really annoys me that Omodaki Zoo did not do better.
Yeah.
A manga I did really enjoy. But maybe that could have started to slip as things went on, though. Because after all, it was only, cancelled at, 30 chapters, 40 chapters?
That's the thing. We'll never know.
Um,
Can I get up here? I'm lost again, by the way.
It's funny, I feel in some ways, again, I blame English A-levels, I'm less willing to stick to a story as it declines in quality. I mean, I persisted in reading through all of Bleach. Even when it didn't get as good, even trudging through the Aizen arc.
Which you won't.
Admittedly, to be fair, the final arc is not very good, but it's not good in the best way possible. Because you can tell by the end that he was just rushing things to throw in as many cool developments that he wanted to explore all at once, and it's just utterly mind-bogglingly fantastic to the point where you have to have a scene where it's like, how did you survive? You died! I don't know. And there was never an explanation given.
Yeah, once that's a scene in your manga where they just go, you maybe should stop and think a bit.
I mean, he couldn't. He didn't have the time to stop and think. He had 5 chapters left to wrap up the entire story.
Well, so this is the right way, so that's cool. It's good to know. We're making progress. There's a star core. Got 2 more to find in this place. I don't remember exploring any of this. I remember finding... How did you... Oh, well, I just died healing Curie.
Yep. And she's a healer!
Rip. Let's end the episode.
Well, okay.
Bye.
Cheerio.